I found out he was marrying my best friend the same way everyone else did, through a smiling engagement post with the caption, "She was always the one. Always. 3 years with me. Late-night promises. Plans about cities we'd move to. Names for children we never had." And suddenly, I was just a chapter he skipped over like a typo. The worst part wasn't that he left. It was who he chose. Lila. My best friend since college. The girl who held me while I cried after our first fight. The one who said, "You deserve better," while secretly texting him behind my back. They didn't deny it. They didn't even apologize properly. "It just happened," she said. "You can't control who you fall for," he added. But betrayal doesn't just happen. It grows in secret. It laughs behind your back. It waits for the perfect moment to humiliate you. The wedding invitation arrived in a gold envelope. My name written carefully, like this was normal. Like I was expected to clap while they celebrated building their happiness on the ruins of mine. My name is Aria Bennett. I'm 27 years old. And that invitation wasn't just paper. It was a declaration of war. Because here's what they didn't know. The man standing beside him at the wedding, the best man, the quiet one who watched everything, wasn't just his friend. He was his rival. His business competitor. His childhood enemy hiding behind a polite smile. And 2 weeks after that wedding, I married him. Not for love. Not at first. But for something far more dangerous. Revenge tastes sweeter when served at the altar. His name was Adrian Cole. Calm. Controlled. Observant. The kind of man who didn't speak unless his words had weight. At the wedding, while everyone clapped for Daniel and Lila's fairy tale, Adrian watched me instead. Not with pity. Not with curiosity. With understanding. He knew betrayal. Daniel had undercut him in business years ago. Stole a deal. Took credit. Smiled while doing it. Adrian never forgot. He just waited. 2 weeks after the wedding, we met for coffee. No flirting. No games. Just honesty. "They think they won," he said quietly. I stirred my drink. "They like winning. And how do you feel about changing that?" That's how it started. Not with romance. With strategy. Our marriage wasn't impulsive. It was calculated. Headlines moved fast in our social circle. Daniel's rival marrying his ex? It wasn't just gossip. It was a statement. At first, I told myself it was revenge. To make them uncomfortable. To make family dinners awkward. To let Lila wonder if she'd miscalculated. But something unexpected happened. Adrian treated me with a kind of respect I had never experienced before. He asked for my opinion. He listened. He never once tried to shrink me to make himself feel bigger. Meanwhile, cracks began forming in their perfect picture. Daniel hated losing attention. Hated whispers about how quickly I moved on. Hated seeing me at events, not broken, not bitter, but composed. Lila started watching me differently. Not victorious anymore. Nervous. Because revenge isn't loud. It's quiet confidence. And for the first time since that engagement post, I wasn't reacting to their betrayal. I was rewriting the narrative. And this time, I was the one holding the pen. The first time Daniel saw us together after the wedding, he smiled too hard. The kind of smile that stretches but doesn't reach the eyes. "Well," he said, shaking Adrian's hand firmly, "small world." Adrian's grip didn't tighten. He didn't need to prove anything. "Very," he replied calmly. I stood beside my husband, not as a prop, not as a statement, but as a choice. And that's what unsettled Daniel the most. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't chasing closure. I wasn't trying to prove I'd survived. I had. Lila watched me all evening. Her laughter sounded slightly delayed. Her hand on Daniel's arm looked more possessive than affectionate. She kept glancing between Adrian and me like she was trying to solve a puzzle she didn't understand. Because here was the truth they never saw coming. This wasn't revenge anymore. Somewhere between strategy meetings and late-night conversations, between shared ambition and quiet respect, something shifted. Adrian didn't treat me like damaged goods or a pawn in his rivalry. He treated me like an equal. He didn't try to outshine me. He amplified me. And that terrified Daniel. Whispers started circulating. Adrian's company began landing contracts Daniel used to dominate. Investors shifted. Invitations changed. Influence moved quietly, but powerfully. At one event, Daniel pulled me aside. His voice dropped low. "You're doing this to hurt me." I looked at him, truly looked at him, and realized something shocking. "I'm not doing anything to you," I said calmly. "I just stopped doing everything for you." That was the moment he understood. He hadn't just lost a girlfriend. He had lost control. And this time, there was no way to win me back. The night Lila showed up at my door, mascara smudged and pride shattered, I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because karma has perfect timing. She didn't look like the glowing bride from those filtered photos anymore. She looked tired. Anxious. Cornered. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice thin. I stepped aside. Not out of kindness. Out of curiosity. She walked in slowly, scanning the apartment like she was measuring the life I had built without her. The confidence she once wore like perfume was gone. "He's different," she said finally. "Daniel's angry all the time. Obsessed with Adrian. Obsessed with you." I leaned back against the counter. "That sounds like a marriage problem." Her jaw tightened. "You married his enemy." "No," I corrected calmly. "I married a man who respects me." That silence hit harder than any insult. She confessed things I already suspected. Daniel couldn't handle losing business to Adrian. He couldn't handle the whispers. He couldn't handle the fact that I wasn't broken. And when a man like Daniel feels small, he doesn't shrink quietly, he lashes out. "He thinks you planned this," she whispered. I smiled slightly. Maybe I did. But here's the truth she didn't understand: this stopped being revenge the moment Adrian chose me for reasons that had nothing to do with Daniel. And that's when the door opened. Adrian stepped inside, calm as ever. His eyes flicked from me to Lila, assessing the situation in seconds. "Everything all right?" he asked. Lila looked at us, really looked at us, and something in her expression cracked. Because for the first time, she realized she hadn't won. She had traded loyalty for ego. And now? She was married to a man at war with himself. The night Daniel tried to destroy Adrian's company, he didn't realize he was signing his own collapse. Desperate men don't think clearly. They react. They gamble. They burn everything down just to feel powerful again. Rumors started first. Anonymous complaints. Legal threats. Investors suddenly concerned. It was sloppy, but aggressive. Daniel wasn't trying to win anymore. He was trying to hurt. Adrian didn't panic. He prepared. While Daniel was making noise, Adrian was collecting evidence. Emails. Recorded calls. Proof of contract interference. Every reckless move Daniel made out of jealousy became another brick in the case building against him. And I watched it all unfold with a calm I didn't recognize in myself. Years ago, I would have tried to stop it. Tried to mediate. Tried to fix him. Not anymore. One evening, Daniel showed up outside our building. No suit. No charm. Just rage barely contained. "You think you've won?" he snapped. "You planned this from the beginning." I stepped closer, not intimidated. Not shaken. "You lost me long before I married Adrian," I said quietly. You just didn't notice. That hit harder than any revenge plot ever could. Within months, the truth surfaced. Legal notices turned against him. Investors pulled out. His reputation, once spotless, began to fracture publicly. Not because I attacked him. Not because Adrian cheated. But because arrogance always exposes itself. The final twist? I never married Adrian for revenge. Revenge might have opened the door. But respect, loyalty, and partnership kept me there. And Daniel? He didn't lose because I chose his enemy. He lost because he underestimated the woman he betrayed. And that kind of mistake is permanent. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more thrilling tales. Share your thoughts in the comments below, we love hearing from you.